Oh, very good morning, all of you. Welcome to our first 5 a.m. club. So, we'll start with meditation for a few minutes and then we'll go ahead with our topic discussion. We had an initiated question last night, so we'll try to build up from there and discuss some relevant points from that topic, right? It's luting agents. So, before we go ahead with that, let's start with a few minutes of meditation, right? I hope you guys are all ready, and I hope you have seen the requirements of attending this live session. Yeah, check out the comments and let's start. So those who have already attended previous 5 a.m. clubs, you are familiar with the pattern. So what we'll do is we'll project some beautiful sunrise images, one or two images. All you need to do is just observe the image and do not restrict your thoughts. Focus on the music, observe the image. That's it. That will do. Okay. So the sun hasn't risen yet. So in few moments, the sun will rise. So let's start with our meditation, a guided form of meditation. Listen to the music, observe the picture, or you can close your eyes and create your own mental picture based on your convenience. Since it's a first day, we'll allot 5 minutes. Okay. I'll be setting the timer and I'll be reminding you. Just 5 minutes. Let's start. And also you can use this step where while you're taking or while you're inhaling, just visualize and imagine that you're taking in all the positivity which is there right out there uh, early in the morning. And as you're exhaling, just imagine that you're emitting all the negativity, right? So you can use that as well. Anything based on your convenience. And I'm sure there will be so many thoughts entering into your mind, which is absolutely fine. All you need to do is don't restrict them. And at the same time, don't entertain them. Let the thoughts flow. Just focus on your breathing, look at the image, or create your own mental picture, and just flow with the music. Also, so let's end this session now. And before we go ahead with our academic discussion, I just want you to observe this video, right? This is a sunrise which I captured a couple of months ago, my hometown. So observe this video. This is of 12 minutes duration, but we'll fast forward it and just observe the sun rising, okay? All it takes is few seconds. You can see some birds flying across. So this is an amazing visual sight, which happens, for our information, it happens every day, unless and until it is cloud. Even though it happens, we can't see in such cases, but it's an amazing visual experience. So if at all you get a chance, right, in places where you stay, 5 a.m. sessions are right time for you to join your sunrise and, observe this amazing natural phenomenon. Okay, I hope you're all awake, right? Yes. So before we go ahead, I've asked you a question, initiated question, like you've done a tooth preparation. The preparation seems to be perfect. And when you try in, the seating is very good. And also the retention is very good. Then should we still go for a luting? Should we use a luting cement to bind the crown to the prepared aspect of your tooth? So you guys can answer that question now. And the reason why I've asked you this question is during our undergraduation, one of our professors asked us this question. That is, what is the most important retentive feature, or what's the reason why a crown retains to a tooth, a prepared tooth? What's the primary factor that plays a role in this? I enthusiastically answered, it's luting cement. We use a luting cement which helps in binding the crown and the prepared tooth. And my professor told me that it's a wrong answer. And he's true, he's right, because the primary factor which plays a role in retention of a crown or a prosthesis is the design features which we incorporate. So those should be the primary features or primary factors. The materials which we use, that is luting or cementing, they're secondary. And interestingly, in previous generation, that is in when these luting agents were introduced initially, when it comes to zinc phosphate cement, or it can be zinc oxide usinol cements, they're not adhesive in nature. Their primary role is to seal the interface between the prepared tooth and the crown. Just seal the interface, fill the space, fill the gap, the microscopic gap. But the next generation of cements, which we are seeing, which you guys are seeing, which we're all seeing now, it can be resin cements, it can be GIC, right? So these have adhesive qualities as well. So things have changed from the date when my professor asked me this question, even though at that time, the cements which were introduced, their primary role is to seal the space, but now we have luting agents which actually promote retention of crowns along with the design features, which are obviously very important. So I had that background in mind, so I've asked you this question. So what do you think? Should we go for luting cements? So that will be the focus of our today's topic discussion. And based on this, we'll have several MCQs in our dinner session. So let's go ahead with our very short presentation, which I prepared for this 5 a.m. session, right? I hope you guys are ready. Okay, all perfect? Yeah. So as you can see in this particular illustration, on left side or left half of the illustration, you can see a shaded area, black shaded area, right? Yes. So that's your cement or an interface or a medium which you are adding between your crown and your prepared tooth to fill in the space. If you observe the right half, if you observe the magnified version, the surfaces are not very smooth. So even though when you try to fit in the initial trying, when you try to fit the crown to the prepared tooth, To naked eye, it seems perfect, but at microscopic level, beyond the capacity of naked eye, there are spaces. We're calling them as microspaces, nanospaces. So when these spaces are present within the oral cavity, as you know, the consequences, there can be potential of salivary leakage, there can be bacterial ingress, there can be secondary caries, sensitivity, and other sequelae associated with these micro leakages. And it's long term, it doesn't support the life of the processes for the obvious reasons which we discussed now. So, with this picture in mind, we're trying to fill up these spaces. As you can see in the illustration to the right of the screen, there are two surfaces. They're never perfectly smooth, and you can see so many peaks and valleys, right? I hope you've seen a mountain in your lifetime. So you have so many peaks and also you have valleys. I can give you one valley, best example, very famous in India. We have Manali, Kulu. They're valleys, basically. Also, you have mountains over there. So we have these peaks and valleys, where the peaks, when you bring these two surfaces together, like the crown and prepared tooth together, the peaks will be coming in contact. There will be point contact, as you can see, I've highlighted here. There will be point contact, there will be contact. But the rest of the areas, there will be spaces. So microscopic spaces, which cannot be seen with naked eye, but will have a negative impact on the health of the crown. So luting agent is necessary to fill in these spaces, to fill in these voids, right? And also the latest generation of luting agents we have, it's like a bonus. These agents also promote retention of the crown because of the adhesive technology they carry with them. So why luting agent? That's why we need a luting agent, right? I hope you got my point. Now, what are the functions? Coming to functions of luting agents in specific. So why do we need them? So based on what we discussed, they are used for filling the interface or the space between a processes and a prepared tooth, the microscopic space, to avoid the sequelae of salivary ingress, bacterial ingress, secondary caries, etc. And also, in the previous generations, these luting agents mainly increase the physical attraction. Take, for example, zinc phosphate cement, crown and bridge cement, or take, for example, zinc oxide eugenol cement. They fill the space between these two interfaces and also increase the physical attraction, right? So it's a physical phenomenon. But nowadays, we're having, as I said, we're having these luting agents which have adhesive technology. So resin based, or it can be GS, it can be chemical adhesion, micromechanical adhesion, no matter what adhesion it is, they are promoting retention of crown by creating a solid sealing layer. So you can keep these functions in mind, right? So understanding the functions of luting agent is very important uh, because it meets the objectives of using these luting agents. And in this illustration, you can see, again, divide this illustration into left half and right half. Left half, you can see we have filled in the entire the space between the processes and the tooth with the cement, right? The interface is completely filled. But on right half, you can see there are voids. So we'll talk about that a bit later. So what are the requirements of a luting agent? So when you select a luting agent, we have so many physical properties we talk about. We talk about the film thickness, we talk about the viscosity factors, the flow, surface tension, ability to wet. So what should be the requirements for a cement to be used as luting agent? So it should be able to flow under pressure. You might have heard of the words pseudoplasticity and thixotropic nature, right? Pseudoplasticity, ability to flow under shear force. So it should be able to flow under pressure, because when you seat a crown on a prepared tooth, actually we use, as per Phillips, we ought to use moderate finger pressure. So when you use moderate finger pressure, the cement should not resist and should be able to flow under pressure, which is an important physical characteristic. And also the cement should flow. It has something to do with surface tension. Take water, for example, take, honey or oil, for example, the flow varies, right? Because of alteration or variation in the physical properties, including surface tension. So the cement which you pick should be able to flow or wet the surfaces. Only once it wets the surface, it will be able to flow and then fill the space. And most importantly, it should form a continuous film sans voids or without voids, I mean. So as you can see, if there are voids, there will be negative consequences. So the requirements of a luting agent include its ability to flow under pressure, to wet the surfaces, and it should form a continuous film without voids. Now, a critical question, consider this as your homework question. So it's time to fire your neurons. So that's the reason why you have that particular illustration. It's a neuron, as you know. Okay, don't worry, I'm not going to ask you the parts of it. So what are the consequences of having voids in luting cement? Especially in these areas. We'll talk about them further in MCQ's discussion, but in general, what do you think would happen if there are voids in luting cement? So consider this as your homework question and get back through mail with your answers. I would really appreciate and love going through them. And we'll stop this session here because first day I wanted to keep it as short and concise as possible. As time progresses, we'll also try to increase the length. And we have so many other aspects related to luting agents. We have so many other aspects like cement placement, like mixing of the cement and cement placement within the crown. To what extent should we fill the crown? Also, should the margins be covered? And once you fill the crown with a luting agent before you place it, right? So how much pressure has to be used? I said moderate finger pressure. Is it standardized? So moderate finger pressure, how to place, and most importantly, how to remove excess cement and when to remove it. The timing is very important. And finally, dislodgement of processes. You might have come across in your clinical practice, or you might have seen the process coming up. Why? What's the reason? Is it because of cohesive failure within the cement or luting agent, or is it because adhesive failure or failure at the interface? If that's the case, which is the most common pattern of failure, right? And finally, the properties of dental cements. So all of these will discuss them further in the form of MCQs to make it even more interesting rather than just putting up a theory, right? So today evening at 7:30 p.m. IST, that is dinner session, we'll have further discussion on these topics and we'll have plenty of multiple choice questions. And then we'll go ahead with the next initiated question, right? So it's a very simple topic, yet clinically very, very important. And if you say it's a very simple topic, then you should be able to do very well in today's evening dinner session where we'll have MCQs. So let's see how you perform. All you need to do is allot 15-20 minutes to go through literature which is available in Philips and then prepare notes accordingly and attend the session. So right now, once you're done with this session, just go through the Philips, as I said, matter of 10 to 15 minutes maximum, and just leave this topic, attend dinner session where we'll try to provide you more inputs, more points, and a better understanding with the clinical perspective, right? I hope it's clear. Fine. So you have any queries? You need any further clarifications, have any doubts, always feel free to get back through mail at 24/7. We're always there for you. So I'm glad you guys joined in the first 5 a.m. club. Just maintain this consistency. Now you woke up early in the morning, you have your entire day for yourself. Most importantly, don't sleep now. Don't sleep after the session. Continue with your activities. Initially, it might be a struggle. You can take a power nap in the afternoon, but don't sleep now. Okay? Continue with your day as usual. So as days progress, you'll get used to, and as I said, you have your entire day for yourself, and I'm sure you're going to make maximum use of it to carry on with your preparation with your respective schedules. So wish you all the best. Love you all. Have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll be seeing you tonight in our next dinner session. Okay? Bye.